Hello, viewers and listeners. In the final episode covering the essentials of the Wisdom and Wealth solution, Feroz will discuss the importance of the 4 steps to building total wealth by knowing yourself, knowing the world, and knowing your purpose, ultimately creating financial stability. Please sit back and enjoy the final episode.
Welcome to the 6th episode of the Wisdom and Wealth Solution. So today we are going to conclude what we discussed during the first 5 episodes and the big ideas in the book. So, why did I write this book? What am I trying to accomplish? So, the goal of the book for the reader and the viewer of this particular channel on YouTube is that I would like us to develop a new relationship with self, with the world, and with our money. And the goal is to achieve living 360. Everything that I have in the book and everything that we have discussed in the previous 5 episodes is, I believe, essential knowledge that each one of us should be aware of. This is information, or these are ideas that we need for an examined life. These are ideas that everyone should think about. And one reason of writing the book is that I interact with graduate students at one of the top universities in the world. And in my profession, I work with some of the most successful people in our country. And time and again, I'm surprised that people have not thought about these ideas. Most of the focus that we have in our life is curating and cultivating and growing our financial wealth. Most people do not recognize that it's just not financial wealth that is important. We need wisdom wealth as well. That leads to total wealth, and that total wealth allows us to be able to experience Living 360. Living 360 is a life of balance. It's a life of abundance. It's a life of freedom. It's a life that is supported by financial security. It's a life with deep relationships. It's a life with purpose. That is Living 360. And in order to get to Living 360, we need total wealth. And how do we get to total wealth? That is the first step of creating total wealth, is being able to see and feel the concrete box that we are born in, and the concrete box in which we spend most of our life. So, again, wealth is 2 currencies, not one. And since the very beginning, we are taught, okay, money is happiness, money is power, money is status, but money is only half the answer. It is necessary, but as we discussed earlier, it's insufficient. So half the book is devoted towards wisdom wealth, and the other half of the book is devoted towards financial wealth, because I think these are 2 sides of the coin, and we need both. One will not work without the other. They both have to come together for us to create total wealth. Then, as we know that we are inside our own concrete box, which is made up of, or which the walls of this box, they come from our religion, the politics that we inherit, the genetics and biology written into our DNA, the conversation about free will or determinism, the biases that we have. So I think, again, we started with how can we know ourselves better? That is by opening our mind and by opening our heart and by carving windows in our concrete box and maybe building a door that we can use to step outside of the concrete box. And again, religion is an important part. 85% of the people in the world follow a particular religious tradition. So religion is important, and it can provide purpose, it provides hope, and it can also provide cosmic meaning, right? The goal of our conversation about religion is to develop humility about our own beliefs and to be able to develop respect and appreciation for other traditions. Because at the core, everyone, if you look beyond the rituals, beyond language, beyond the sacred text, at the core, the idea is justice. The idea is compassion. The idea is love. Yeah, that's what all religions are trying to accomplish. So exploring this in the book is for us to expand our perspective and develop that appreciation and humility. Then within the first section, we spent a lot of time talking about politics. How did we get to our political ideology? Why did we become conservative? Why are we a liberal? Why are we an independent? And do we have an open mind to steelman other sides' ideas and be able to question our own beliefs? Which again is not easy to do, because our concrete box, it gives us community, it gives us safety, it gives us that false sense of protection. So this, our goal again, in terms of our discussion of politics, is to broaden our perspective, open our mind to ideas from the other side. Again, I believe that we have an incredibly efficient and a beautiful system of democracy in the United States, and keeping our mind open to other sides' ideas will strengthen our democracy, will improve the process, will give us better leaders. It is more in line with what will benefit the society. So again, politics is important, and the goal is objectivity. In the first section, then we discussed genetics and politics, and it is really hard to reconcile that it's beyond our control, and our lifespan and health span is significantly impacted by our genetics, including our happiness. Then we discussed free will, determinism, and thought about a more optimized way of making decisions, rather than looking at yes or no answers, rather than relying on black and white solutions. What we looked at was a probabilistic way of looking at decision making, and how can we accomplish that. Then we moved on, and we broadened our horizon to appreciate our context, to see where the world is today, how things have progressed through human history, and then be able to appreciate our existence in this cosmos, and the billion or $1 trillion lottery that we have won through our existence and through the consciousness that we have. So that's sort of the broad idea that we discussed. And then we also talked about how we on our social media feed, in the news, we hear doom and gloom, that the world is falling apart, the world is more cruel, there's so much suffering. Yes, all those things are true, but to an extent. The reality is that the world today is so much better than what it was 25 years ago or 50 years ago. If you look at the numbers in terms of infant mortality, in terms of poverty, in terms of fatalities in war and conflict, humanity has made tremendous progress, and we must appreciate and recognize human progress that we've experienced, especially in the last 100 years. So as we are looking at the world, it is changing, and a lot of that change is coming from technology. And now we're at this inflection point where AI is entering our lives in every domain, at work, at home. AI is ever present, and the role of AI will continue to expand. It may not be as quick as people are expecting it to be, but it will continue to matter. It will continue to play a big role. So again, the idea here would be to incorporate the 3A's process in integrating AI in our lives, which is awareness of what AI is all about, action, how we can incorporate AI into our lives, and then acceptance that AI is here to stay. Then the next part that we discussed was know your purpose. This is part 3 of the book. And here we said, what brings meaning to life? And we concluded that it could be family, it is religion, it could be money, it's power, it could be party, country, service, God. Those are all things that bring meaning and purpose to our life. But we have to know what is authentic to us, what is real for us, what is our meaning and purpose being restricted by the concrete box that we have inherited. Can we look beyond this concrete box to find a bigger purpose, to find more meaning? And what resonates with me is that whether someone is believes in monotheism, or they're a polytheist, or an atheist, or agnostic, what can be very valuable is Confucius's concentric circles, where we start with self, that's really at the core, then comes family, then community, then nation, and then humanity. That's how we can expand our purpose, that's how we can add meaning to our life. The fourth part of the book that we discussed is building financial security, because we know that financial security is the foundation that we need to build wisdom wealth. We need financial wealth so that we can curate and develop wisdom wealth. That is our path to total wealth. And then with total wealth, we have the opportunity to create living an environment which we call Living 360. How do we build financial security? It requires discipline. It requires planning. So the first thing that is needed, again, is the zero moment. You need to understand your cash flow, your budget, your net worth. That is your current financial situation. So for different people, financial security will be different, right? So you should come up with your own definition of financial security. Then have a vision and a plan to be able to achieve what you desire, what your goal is. So have a vision and then make a plan. Then learn about investments, learn about how to save, learn about ETFs, learn about mutual funds, learn about stocks, learn about bonds, learn about alternatives, learn about risk management, insurance, real estate, buying a home. Learn about all these different ideas. And we are not talking about years of learning. If you read the book, it might take you 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, but that essential knowledge has all been summarized in the book for you so that you can get to that basic level of understanding needed to achieve financial security. With that awareness and knowledge, we should build a disciplined and automatic investing plan, automatic saving plan, rather than making these decisions every 2 weeks, every month, every quarter, every year. Have a plan, make it automatic, where you are deferring money to your 401k or your retirement plan, or you're saving every month in a brokerage account. That will go a long way rather than trying to do it ad hoc, where you have to decide every month, oh, how much do I save? How should I invest it? Have a plan and make it automatic. Then let the power of compounding do its magic. Compounding is very powerful. If you start early, if you have the right allocation, there's a very good chance that compounding will do the magic and you will get to your destination of financial security. Then what is also important is real estate, buying a home. The earlier you can buy a home, it could be very valuable. It has tremendous tax benefits and it can be a great legacy, and it adds to your wisdom wealth as well. The last item is risk management. In terms of financial security, know that things can go wrong and certain things in every life will go wrong. So having risk management in place would be very valuable. So that's how you achieve financial security. And then I will recap my 10 investment principles in terms of how you should think about investing. If you are young, right, think about investing in stocks, because the last 75 years, S&P 500 has delivered a return of 11.2% annualized, which is really powerful. Even if you get 7, 8, 9, 10%, your money will compound to a very big number. Don't time the market. It's really important. Emotionally, we feel intellectually challenged to do more and say, okay, if you go in and out, here's the top, here's the bottom. I have the ability to buy low and sell high. But unfortunately, most people buy high and sell low. So don't try to time the market. It will be hazardous for your financial health. Think about long-term investing. You're not a trader. I have not personally come across a trader in my 35 years of being in the industry who has successfully made a lot of money over a period of time. Sometimes people do get lucky, and that's buying a lottery. But buying a lottery is not an investment strategy. Buying a lottery is not, you should not bet your financial security on a strategy that is based on being lucky. So do not try to time the market. Let compounding work. It's really important. Max out your retirement accounts, because here it is very powerful, because you do get a match from, or most individuals, when they work for a company, they do get a match, and maxing out retirement has tremendous tax benefits. Your money grows tax deferred, and you get a match, or most people can get a match from their employer. And then you should look to control cost and taxes in your portfolio, because if you have a portfolio where you're paying a significant fees, it is taking away from your return. And again, taxes are important. You should know, you should have an investment strategy which is both low cost and tax efficient. You should also rebalance your portfolio. If one part of your portfolio grows too large, if it does too well, then rebalance. Buy the asset class that has not done well. Here you will actually be selling high and buying low, because when you're selling something that has done well, you're selling high, and then you're buying something that has not done well, you're actually buying low. So that's the idea here, which is rebalance your investments. And then invest in what you understand. Do not be enamored by complication. Do not be enamored by sophisticated investment products, because if they're sophisticated and you don't understand them, you may it does not mean, sophistication does not mean that it would lead to better outcomes. So my recommendation always is that keep your investment strategy simple and invest in what you understand. Stocks, bonds, ETFs, these are all very simple instruments. Then diversify across asset classes based on your age and your risk profile. Your mix between stocks and bonds is a function of how much time you have until you'll need to draw from this portfolio. Then know your cash flow. Cash flow is important because that will allow you to invest with confidence. If you know your cash flow, it will allow you to stay invested. Keep a little bit in an emergency fund. And then last but not least, master your emotions. Because emotions, when they drive our actions, when fear is in charge, we will make choices that are suboptimal. We will make choices that will be counterproductive. So before you start investing, simulate in your mind what you will do if the market goes down 10%, 15%, 20%, 30%, even 40 or 50%. How will you handle your emotions at that time? It is really important. So your financial strategy or your financial plan must be financially feasible, but also emotionally viable. These are equally important. So now, this is sort of a summary of what we discussed during the previous 5 episodes, and it's sort of a overview of what you will find in the book. You have the tools that we have created. So there are different tools in the book, including a worksheet to make your cash flow, to make your net worth statement. All those worksheets are in the book, so you could use those. So I believe that now you are ready to live your 360. And living 360 and stepping out of your concrete box does not really mean that you have to escape this box. We all live in some sort of structure. The deeper task is to make conscious and authentic choices reflecting who you truly are, not just what you were handed, not just what your concrete box told you that this is what you need, this is what you want, this is what you should desire, this is what you should aspire to, and this is what you can become, and this is the approach you should follow. So today, after going through these 5 episodes or reading the book, Living 360 and the Wisdom and Wealth Solution and is not about perfection, it's about direction. It is not about escaping your concrete box. It is carving out windows and making a door in your concrete box. It is not losing your identity, but it is knowing who you are deep down, exploring your authentic self. So the 0 moment work that you did when you created the Living 360 grid and the Living 360 compass, do it again. I think you will experience what has shifted, what has changed, what have you learned. So what we have discussed today and what you have read in the book, I believe this is essential knowledge. This is something that each one of us should know. This is awareness that we must possess to be able to live a joyful, meaningful life, right? Because again, so how we can do it? You can measure your progress, where you are on the grid, where you were earlier. In terms of the compass, where growth was calling, and what type of growth have you experienced in either knowing yourself, knowing the world, knowing your purpose, or building financial security. And then define your next steps. What are you going to do? Now you have all this information. The idea is to implement. So everything that we have done together, all the chapter and exercises and questions and worksheets and 0 moment work that you did, all of that was awareness. Now it is up to you to create your plan, and then you implement that plan. And again, the plan may not go exactly according to plan. There is randomness in life. There will be disappointments. There will be successes. There will be challenges. There will be setbacks. So, but you should learn from them, and that should add to your awareness so you can take better action next time. So, then continue to revisit your plan. Now you have a blueprint of where you want to go, and also you know why you want to go there, right? And you are looking beyond your concrete box. So your plan is not what was handed to you. Right? This is authentic. This is, you understand your purpose better. So revisit your blueprint from time to time, revisit your plan, see if you need to make adjustments, and then I'm pretty confident, I'm pretty sure that with this essential knowledge that we have discussed together, this awareness that you have created by watching these videos, by reading the book, by doing all the exercises, will lead you to living 360. I'm grateful for all the time that you spent watching these videos. Thank you so much. We plan to continue the Wisdom and Wealth Solution episodes on YouTube, and we hope that you will continue joining us in our discussions about wisdom and wealth. Thank you.